alligator?
To be honest, I didn't think my father instincts kicked in because my daughter is a risk taker. She got a bike. We're from Philadelphia, so we don't have alligators. So she tried to hit the tail with the, with the bike, with the alligator and all that. So I just jumped into action and I said, you know what? I'm not going to be Ben Simmons. I'm going to go capture this basket.
Not going to be Ben Simmons. He's going to go get the basket. This is interesting to see. Daily Sports Podcast about news, narratives, takes, gambling, fantasy, etc., etc. That was from TMZ Sports. That was the guy. You may have seen the article or something on social media. A dude in Florida caught an alligator in his trash can. He scooped it up like a spider and then he put it up. He was horizontal and it was vertical. And he was interviewed because he's from Philly. Like, how? Oh, you're from Philly. So the first thing he did on Philly media was say, I ain't going to be like Ben Simmons. Unbelievable. You love to see that. Let's check in. Monday Night Football. We're going to talk about Monday Night Football. We're going to talk about some football storylines from over the weekend and the professional, the major leagues, as the old people say. The race for the pennant in the American League starts tonight with the Red Sox, Yankees, so we all have to care. It's like a law. The game starts at 8. I'm a grown-up, so I will watch the highlights tomorrow morning ahead of the Daily Sports Podcast. Interesting to see. But let's check in with some Monday Night Football. Justin Herbert and the Los Angeles Chargers were on the road in their home stadium last night against the Las Vegas Raiders. If you think I'm joking, I'm not. It was at least 2-to-1 ratio of Raiders fans to Chargers fans. The Chargers go up 14-0. The Raiders then make it, I don't know what happened. At some point it was 21-0, right? Like I think in the third quarter, halftime perhaps, and then the Raiders come back and it looks good. They're unable to hit a long field goal. They couldn't make a first down. It was like third and I want to say 3 and a big sack, and the Chargers come back. So let's check in with a highlight for the old Los Angeles Chargers. Austin Eckler right here.
Eckler
Boom.
breaking away, end zone touchdown.
The Chargers
Austin Eckler
unanimously
for the Chargers.
if you watch it on YouTube, you can see it. The Chargers unanimously have the greatest uniforms in sports right now. They are, I don't want to say erotic, but they're attractive. They're incredible. This might have been one of the greatest uniform games that's ever been played in NFL history last night. I'm not joking. I'm going to call it the San Diego blue because it's a little bit darker than Carolina blue from the Tar Heels. It's cotton candy sky blue. It's gorgeous. And then popping yellow, and they have their off-white helmets, and the Raiders silver pants, silver helmets, white on silver jerseys. It was a gorgeous game last night, and I don't know why I care about that, but I do. Derek Carr was sacked. He's one of the greatest fourth-quarter comeback quarterbacks of all time. He's right there with Brady, Manning, Matt Stafford, Matt Ryan, and Russell Wilson. Those are the GOATs of coming from behind in the fourth quarter. He tried to do it again. Saw this on Twitter from Joey Bosa, who is one of the best defensive ends in football, probably top 5, top 10. He said after the game, quote, "We knew once we hit him, Carr, a few times, he really gets shook. And you saw on Covington's sack, he pretty much just curled into a ball before we could get there. Great dude, great player. But we know once you pressure him, he kind of shuts down." That's what happened. He kind of just allowed himself to be sacked on a 3rd and 3, which, they missed the field goal because he lost 5 yards, and they lost the game. You cannot criticize the Carr brothers because they'll block you on Twitter. That's right. David Carr, who is somehow is paid for his opinion about professional football and college football. It's one of those guys that's incapable of having analysis because of his personal biases. Another person like that people don't really know a lot about is Tony Dungy. You will never, it's like it doesn't exist, find Tony Dungy talking about how good Tom Brady is because of the Peyton Manning thing. Just something to look for next time you see Tony Dungy on television. Joey Bosa was penalized for getting incredibly mad at a ref because he was held. That led to an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. And so he said the reffing was absurd and he can expect a fine from the NFL. Darren Waller last night was flagged for taunting because he spiked the ball after a pretty ridiculous catch. And I want to say second and long. It was a really great catch from Darren Waller. And he just spiked the ball on the ground like a professional football player. But because he was standing close to the Chargers sideline, even though he wasn't looking at them or at an opponent, they fined him for taunting. He was kind of taunting himself or maybe his fantasy owners or something. The game is getting ridiculous. Unbelievable, Darren Waller. What a disgusting act. What a disgusting act. John Gruden last night, I didn't know that this happened. Let's bring this up for all you domers out there. I know that there are a couple of you that listen. In Playboy magazine, John Gruden from 1997. Oh, wait, is it 2003? Excuse me. This is in Playboy. He was interviewed in Playboy because that matters. Quote, Bucks head coach John Gruden, interviewed in the September issue of Playboy, reveals that he lost his virginity at age 17 in South Bend, Indiana. John Gruden told the magazine, quote, I lost my virginity to the Notre Dame fight song. And they were like, wait, there was a band there? And he said, no, it was in my head. Ha! Either that's true, in which case that explains a lot, or B, that's not true, in which case that also explains a lot. John, what are we doing here? I want to check in with, really quick, Chris Berman's still doing the fastest 2 minutes, except that now it's the fastest 3 minutes because he's old. Last night, he had a whoop that was, frankly, it's proof that he still got it. Do you guys want to hear it? Let's listen to it. Here we go.
Heineke, J.D. McKissick.
Uh-oh. Unbelievable. One more time. Could you hear the echo in the studio? Here we go. I don't even know what to say about that. Taylor Heineke and the Washington football team, that was an incredible play that may or may not have been a touchdown. People are still arguing about it on Twitter. I don't care. Don't want to talk about it. I literally could not possibly care less than I do in this moment. Let's talk about some baseball. The AL pennant starts tonight. The NL pennant starts tomorrow with play-in games. The Red Sox and Yankees, for some reason, this is so annoying. I don't know why they must be like this. So it's on, I think, Fox. I don't know. We'll figure it out. The Yankees and the Red Sox start tonight at 8:08 p.m. That's annoying. And then the Cardinals are playing the Dodgers tomorrow at 8:10 p.m. That game will be in Los Angeles. So if you're in L.A., lucky you, at 5 p.m., there will be traffic next to Dodger Stadium, which should be fun. Let's look at the favorites for the MLB playoffs. I thought that the Chicago White Sox are going to win the World Series a long time ago. I still think that because they have an ace. They have right now the best pitcher in baseball. I think some people will tell you it's Max Scherzer for the Dodgers, but if you have the one ace and he becomes unhittable in the playoffs, you can win a World Series. We've seen many teams do this. You have to have other players, and they have plenty of other players and stuff, but if you have that guy that's unhittable, you can ride that to a World Series if that guy's locked in. And I'm not actually betting, maybe I should, that Lance Lynn of my alma mater will be locked in because he's been locked in all year. He's been preposterous. Other teams that have won World Series this way, the Giants, the San Francisco Giants with Madison Bumgarner have done it thrice. The Phillies, when they won their World Series, they had, I forget, was it Cole Hamill? He was locked in and unbeatable. John Lester has been locked in the past. If you have that guy that just cannot be hit, you can win a World Series. So I think for that, and literally for that reason, and because they have a bunch of dudes in their lineup that just smoke the baseball, that is enough. It really is. They have a multi-time World Series champion coach in Tony La Russa. I think they're going to win. But let's look at World Series odds. This is from the Action Network. These are generalized odds, so they're the average odds across sports books. The Dodgers are the favorite to win the World Series despite being in the play-in game against the hottest team in baseball, the Cardinals, at plus 400. That means a $100 wager wins you $400. It's pretty good odds. The worst odds are the St. Louis Cardinals, who are plus 2,500. Somebody figure that out for me, please. That's bizarre. So the orders is Dodgers, Astros, Rays, and Giants. They're all pretty close, 400 to 550. Then the odds go up a little bit. White Sox, and then big gap Brewers, and then big gap, and then Red Sox, Yankees, Braves. The Braves are an interesting bet. They're a much better baseball team than the teams that they play. The Yankees and Sox not getting any respect. The Rays are hilarious. Their payroll is like 6 players for the Yankees or the Red Sox, and they murdered them this year. God, they deserve it. That's absolutely hysterical. Let's look at the playoff picture for the non-playing game. So you got one game tonight, one game tomorrow, and then there will be kind of like day-ish baseball, depending on what time zone you live in, on like on Friday, 2:07 p.m. Professional sports are really shooting themselves in the foot, not having more day games. Yes, so the Sox are playing the Astros. Thursday afternoon is game 1, and then game 1 for the other AL series will be the winner of Yankees-Red Sox. That'll be Thursday evening. In the NL side of things, Friday afternoon is the first NL game. That's Braves and Brewers. Oh, no, they're playing each other. So we're going to have to talk about like Hank Aaron and how, hey, the Milwaukee Braves. Like, I hate, the worst thing is being able to predict storylines and then they happen. Did you know? If I see Matthew Stafford in the stands at a Cardinals-Dodgers game tomorrow, I'm going to kill someone at Fox. I'm going to remove their esophagus from their throat. We have to stop, guys. Somebody has to have standards. Somebody has to have standards. Okay, the other NL series is going to be the Giants, who were picked to finish last by like The Athletic and MLB writers. They were picked to finish last. They were the best team in professional baseball this year. They weren't picked to finish last in baseball. They were picked to finish last in their division, last of 5. Their division has 2 of the worst teams in MLB history. The Rockies, who lost essentially all of their home games, and the Diamondbacks, who are like the worst team ever, them and the Orioles. The Giants are the best team in baseball. Gotta love that. The first Giants game will be Friday late evening in San Francisco Giant time, so right when you're getting home from the bars, that game should still be on. They're going to play the winner of the play-in game between St. Louis and the LA Dodgers. Let's take a look at, I kind of want to just take a minute to talk about something. I don't want to have takes, but as we're watching professional basketball and professional hockey get going again, I could not be more pissed off at the fact that they did not understand how great it must have been for them to dominate July and not have to deal with getting their asses kicked by the NFL in October. So I'm just going to Google it real quick. I believe the preseason for the NBA and the NHL, they're underway. The first game of the season is October 19th. Guys, what are we doing? And the first game of the NHL is October 14th. I know that the NHL has a bunch of Canadian people, but they're going to watch whenever it starts. You're going to make me be bored in July again because you want it to go back to the way that it was? That is so dumb. There is no planet in the universe on which you are going to compete at all with American football. More people watched the first preseason game this year than have ever watched a Stanley Cup final game. I want you to digest what I just said. That is a fact. More people watched the first preseason game this year than watched the NBA Finals since Kobe was in them. You cannot compete with college and pro football. I cannot believe that there is going to be a game on a Monday during a pro football game and a Thursday during a pro football game. And then in July, I'm going to have to care about golf and baseball. What are we doing? This is among the stupidest business decisions I have ever seen. Plus, the players have been complaining about rest. Start after Thanksgiving like a grown-up. Right as soon as the majority of teams are getting eliminated from playoff contention and bowl eligibility, fire it up. But what the hell are we doing? I don't want to have a lot of takes. This is a show about other takes that you can expect, and I guess I'll wrap up with some funny stuff. But I just don't understand the hubris to think that, you know what America needs is the NBA. No, look at the data. More people watch NFL highlights the day after a game than are going to watch your game. I'm going to look at, just real quick, let's just test it. Las Vegas Raiders, Google, and let's click on the game recap, and we'll mute it really quick. And right now, the game finished 8 hours ago. There are 500,000 views on YouTube for the highlights. And you're going to compete with that. I can't even. Don't know. I don't want to hear complaining when the NFL decides to play a game during your game in the stadiums and you have to reschedule and all that stuff. What? I don't know what this is, but you deserve to get your ass kicked if you're going to be stupid. It's just ridiculous. All right, narrative watch. I want to start the narrative watch that Brandon Staley, who doesn't call good plays for Justin Herbert, he's doing it intentionally? No, not true. Defensive head coaches can't play offense. They just don't know what to do. They want to establish the run, but people are going to twist themselves and not because Brandon Staley was young and worked for Sean McVay. Something to keep an eye on out there. I will be watching a couple innings of baseball tonight. I hope you will too. It's Red Sox Yankees. You have to care. It's like a tax. And then I'll Google what happened after I went to bed and be back and better than ever for you tomorrow morning.